Yeah, got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. And we're going to get right into it. My friend, you are recently going full docs, formerly known as jpegtard, my friend. Welcome to the world of doxed Web3. What's the story behind that?
Highly appreciated the invitation, Ben. Thank you. Yeah, the motivation behind the doxing in the Web3 world, I mean, comes a bit in terms of credibility too. What I think, and personal brands get way, way more important in the future. Also regarding all these content creators, like going out there, having more of their personal opinions to something. Also, yeah, like connecting with people. And I'm like, why not name myself on Twitter rather than my Web3 name, jpegtard, just to my real name, Tim Segewitz, and just connecting to people like you also do. So yeah, that's actually the reason why I did it. So I thought, why not using my birthday on Friday to somehow like promote that a bit, that I start my personal brand. So it's in 2 days. But yeah, that was actually like the first shots. I created all the accounts, and yeah, it's just the right step to move, I think, in the Web3 world.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, happy birthday. It's gonna be great. How old you turning?
32.
Oh man, getting old over there.
A bit, yeah, a bit, but yeah, I'm doing everything against the getting older, like health, exercise, anything.
Yeah, let's jump into it. I'd love to hear your your health and your exercise regimens. A guest I was talking to earlier was a health influencer. So we kind of
Oh,
ran
cool.
through the different routines and regimens and stuff. But I'm curious to know about yours because I know we've talked about soccer, football, being
Yeah.
big for you. So yeah, curious to learn all your stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm being at the beginning when I like I'm trying to do this in a nutshell because I basically play soccer since I'm 5. So it's right now actually crazy, 27 years now. Damn. But actually the knees are fine. Most of the time it's a bit the hip, which got a bit of pain. But I mean, yeah, that's the elderly. So yeah, I played soccer now for 27 years. Damn, that's so crazy to say. But yeah, how can I explain it, or how do I get into that it's not getting a long story, like putting it in a nutshell? As most of the people here in Europe, I mean, I have to start this way. In Europe, soccer is like this thing. It's somewhat getting like the world sport. Everyone with like a ball can shoot it with their feet, etc. It's also a pretty cool team building thing where you actually play with teammates. I, from the early ages on, always had the captain role. So from like 12 or so, where you get in these like smaller friend circle-y football teams. There's also like crystallizing who's a bit more of a leader type, who's a bit more of like the, not like that you're an outsider or something, but you like the adults in soccer see behaviors in the young players who maybe could get a leader. And that's why I was like the captain of the team from 12 to 16. Then I went into another soccer club, played a bit like semi-professional from 16 to not that long, 22, because I had the opinion, if you actually doesn't make it until 22 in soccer, you 100% never get a professional anyhow.
Mhm.
So yeah, I went then just really cool back with playing with my friends in the same league and in the same team for now 10 years, actually, from 22 to now 2023. We're like a circle of 8 guys, actually. 6 are playing in the main team, 2 are sometimes on the bench, and sometimes like we're switching up, etc. But we're playing pretty good. We nearly like got up a league last year, so we finished second. That was also a great year. And yeah, health-wise, I mean, soccer, I heard it even on Joe Rogan, where he was a bit talking about with his MMA guys about like really these high athletic soccer players like Cristiano Ronaldo, or all these other guys. Even Joe Rogan somehow said that you actually need to be crazy in shape to like run 90 minutes on a soccer field with the tempo we have, or with the speed we have in the European soccer pro leagues. It's Zlatan actually came once to LA Galaxy and says, man, I'm 35, I'm bigger, I'm faster than anyone here. And that's why he actually showed somehow the not to feel a bit bad about the American League, etc., because you're on a great way. You now got Messi with Inter Miami, etc. Like you got the GOAT, 100%. So yeah, you're really coming up. And to really bring this into the nutshell, yeah, I go now into my, what is it? 18 to 22 is like the 14th year of playing like adult soccer. And yeah, going back to the health, and also the what is really, really important, the like not getting sore that much, etc. So I'm rather getting into stuff that I'm not that sore, but training more often that you don't get that sore. I don't know if that makes sense, but I train like 6 times per week, so not that hard, rather than training 3 times per week and super hard, because you most of the time get sore and you don't want to walk around and have all these aches in your whatever feet, hip, arms, back, etc. So I'm a little bit training like 6 times per week, smaller, even like only like 30 to, let's say, 30 minutes to an hour, depends even on the weather and yeah, if I have a good podcast on also. And
That's
soccer
interesting.
training.
I'm curious about the 6 times per week, because I recently have been doing full body workouts 6 times a week as well. I'm usually going 60 to 70 minutes. And like you, I pop in an audiobook or a podcast, one of those.
Yeah,
it's a critical part of the workout routine, of course.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm curious, like, when you're training, how are you training? Are you like in the gym doing weights? Are you doing like out doing cardio? Are you doing like soccer drills, or like what exactly does training mean to you? And then the ancillary. So like, how are you thinking about like where you're eating, your diet, your sleep, things like that?
Yeah, for sure. To be 100% clear, we right now have we have a pause in the soccer season. So the last game was actually 3 weeks ago, and the season starts again at the end of August. So we had the last game 3 weeks ago. So the schedule when we have soccer training, which is 2 times per week, is most of the time Tuesday and Thursday. And these are then like more intense workouts, because you basically then, our trainer says, yeah, guys, you need to be fit by yourself, because in these Tuesday and Thursday trainings, we only like doing these like tactics and free kicks and corners, etc. So you have to be fit by yourself somehow, that we don't waste time like having these only 2 meetings per week. So this is like the schedule when I have soccer. I have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Sunday where I do Saturday, sorry, when I do a light workout. And on Tuesday, Thursday, they're a bit more heavy. And Sunday we then have game day, and that's obviously Monday is like really Monday is only like relaxing and a bit of stretching, not that hard. Maybe only like even walk outside the door, etc. with a weight vest. I have a vest, which is where our weights in it.
Sure.
And that's when I then come back to the schedule, what I have right now. So regarding nutrition, I do fasting, 20 hours and 4 hours. I fast 20 hours and only eat 4 hours per day, every day. I started actually when COVID hit in March 2020 with that, and I found it insanely valuable. Not only for focus, for sleep, literally for anything. I don't really get, I mean, the human body was built by that. You see it also in the animal world. You just don't, in the animal world, you don't get food every day. So you're basically in the mode where you're like more focused because you go hunting. I see it somehow in the same way, while having like conversations like that, where I'm like really want to be focused on what we're talking about and like be really focused and like in the moment. So yeah, I didn't even ate today for 22 hours and I have energy. And most of the people really don't understand it. Most of the people like eat 3 times per day, big breakfast, and they fell into a hole like the whole day. I couldn't even go back on the schedule anymore. So fasting, 20 hours no eating, 4 hours eating time, only eating once per day. It's really heavy into the meat way. I eat a lot of beef and a lot of broccoli. because I actually did also a DNA test, which nutritions are good for my body and which are not good for my body. That's even a reason why I cannot go vegan. I could go vegan, but I need to like do pills and powders, etc. But I don't want to.
Sure.
And yeah, I just want to add the vitamin B12 or the vitamin B, what are in like animal products by like eating eggs and beef, etc. So yeah, it's most of the time beef and broccoli, not even pasta, stuff like pasta. I also cut completely out, no pasta, no rice, no bread. So I'm really living actually really great on, let's say I could name like 5 nutritions at all. What I also have to say is that I supplement with athletic greens, like the AG1. I tried that. When did I begin with that? I'm actually now over a year, I guess, with them. And yeah, I do once every 6 months, I do blood work at a doctor, because I mean, you don't really know what's happening to your body, and you need to, in my opinion, like check it here and then.
Totally.
And after I switched everything up, I had a bit of inflammation every time in my body. And my doctor was like, hey man, what are you eating? What are your training habits look like? What do you weight lift? And I will also come to that. No, I don't do weightlifting actually. And the doctor then says, hey, your inflammation thing over here is like, let's say if we're on a schedule from 0 to 100, it's like 15% too much, which is what is regularly. And I'm like, yeah, okay, what could be the reason? I feel totally healthy. What could be the reason? And he just said, yeah, then it's most of the time nutrition. What do you eat? And I'm like, yeah, I eat bread, I eat pasta, I eat rice. Okay, cut that out, come back in 6 months. Then I started the fasting thing, 20 hours, 4 hours, beef, broccoli, etc. Inflammation like at 0, like no inflammation anywhere. And it was like basically, and I need to find the English word for it, but I guess it's corn. What caused it for me. So yeah, it was corn. And yeah, pasta is maybe sometimes also out of corn, and bread, obviously, and rice is a carbohydrate for itself. But these 3 ingredients, I cut it out, inflammation went to 0. And yeah, afterwards, then he told me, yeah, there is this test. It costs like 600 euros or something here in Germany, where you can actually test your own DNA. You only needed to do it once per lifetime because the DNA doesn't change, etc. And then I found out that actually broccoli is really amazing for me, and combined with beef. And then I'm like, I like broccoli, I like beef, let's do it. And yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
How did you, okay, I'm absolutely going to ask you for that link afterwards, because I want to get that test as well. Yeah, that's crazy.
One. Sorry, it's only in Germany. You actually have I reached actually out to the Grant Cardone test. What you guys over there have in the United States it's called 10xhealth.com, which is from Grant Cardone, and you can basically do that over there in the US, because you need to put something into your nose and like COVID tests or something, and then you need to send it. I reached out to the team from Grant Cardone, and they say like, nah, you couldn't do it from Germany because the test then gets dry and we don't get like the test results good. And we send you the link from the German ones who are actually partnered with us. And then I'm like, yeah, do it with them.
I see. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's
totally the same test. It's totally the same test.
100%. Yeah, because I'm curious, like, because I too relatively do like the intermittent fasting as well. Where I get tripped up is when I go out on for social occasions, right? Like might do dinner, with the like go see my mom or something, and like we go out to eat, or it's a celebration, or the fiance cooks at home, or something like that.
Yeah.
How do you deal with those situations that pop up that are just like these kind of random like one-offs, but they add up over the course of a lifetime?
Yeah, for sure. In the beginning, I had a problem with that, because most of the time when I met with friends or went out dinner with the girlfriend, I was like scrolling through the cart and I'm like, oh, okay, there are like fries and there's like this ingredient, which is actually not good for me, but yeah, let's do it once, etc. But honestly, if I'm being real honest here, it comes everything down to discipline. It's not even that you need to be, it's hard to say. I can't, how to begin that now? Damn. In my opinion, I have a thought process about all of this regarding also motivation. Motivation for me is not really real, because you get motivated if you do things consistently and with discipline. It's the word motivation for something, you most of the time have to force it. But when you actually like don't think about it and you just ran through it and do it, and it's called discipline, and you just do it, you actually feel great afterwards. So I don't need any motivation to anything. I'm at that point right now. I can do the most boring shit. Oh, sorry for the curse. I can do the most boring stuff, like cold outreach for Style Protocol or for my personal brand, 200 mails per day. It brings me something at the end, or it like refreshes some networking stuff, etc. for me. I don't just need motivation. It's like a discipline. Okay, I have the plan today, 200 emails, let's shoot them. Let's scroll through LinkedIn. It's just, I always see the outcome at the end. And this is like basically not the motivation for me. It's like, Tim, you will be heavily in shape if you do continue this for 2 years. 2 years ago, I had like 103 kilos, which is, I don't know, 220 pounds, 225 pounds or something. Right now I'm at 91, which is like 13 pounds or 13 kilos below, and like 30 pounds or something below.
Wow.
I'm below that. And yeah, muscle mass went up, etc. So it doesn't even, it's hard to explain, honestly, because yeah, for me, honestly, like the motivation thing, it's not really real. It's just, you have to be disciplined for all the things you do. And with discipline comes consistency. With consistency comes results. It's that easy, honestly.
So you're out to dinner and your girlfriend's like, oh, I want to get this thing, or I want to get that thing, or, oh, I made this thing for you. And then you're like, nope, stick it in my beef and broccoli. Sorry, you know the drill.
She knows it, yeah. And she's actually cool about it, because I showed her the tests. I told her my blood work, which I did every 6 months, like the past 2.5, 3 years or so. And yeah, she's actually cool with that. She always says, Tim, eat what you want. I eat that. I can.
Love that.
Yeah, I mean, it's here over here in Germany. So we basically most of the time have also, if you go to, let's say the biggest fries and the biggest beef restaurant, you always find vegetables to your beef. Always. We do always vegetables to beef, but you can like exchange it to fries, etc. And you can also order at, I would say at over 60 to 70% of the restaurants, you can order coleslaw. If you're like at a German restaurant, and coleslaw is also working super fine, really great stuff. I can like eat coleslaw of a big bottle. So yep, long story short, it's not really that complicated. Not with me, not with her. If you want to go to a Italian pizza guy, I'm like, yeah, okay, he definitely have some salad with shrimps or so. I mean, whatever. It's totally fine for me.
Yeah, because on the back end, you feel so much better.
Exactly. That's
because like you taste it for 5 minutes, but you feel it forever.
Exactly.
For until the end of time, until you didn't burn it off, or figure it out.
Yes. Same thing with cold showers. I'm also heavily on that from the beginning, when we're jumping like more down the road to the health stuff. Right now, I couldn't imagine ending my shower warm. It's that deep right now. I don't even need to start with like the cold shower, but like I'm that far. The thing is, when you do like little small things like this, literally since March 2020, you feel so bad if you just crush it once. And I did it now for 3 years, over 3 years actually, and I would honestly, I never crunch it again.
Now, when you like, you mean you would never go back to doing it the other way?
Yeah, exactly.
I see. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, once you get into the rhythm, it's like, why would you ever get off of that? Why would you ever stop doing that? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And maybe the last small addition maybe to the training schedule. So when I'm off season from soccer, it's basically then 6 times per week. But it's like really not that intense, but I keep my weight and I actually build muscle mass. I have this weight vest, what I told you before. It's like 15 kilos, what you add to your body as a weight. And then I have like when I just go out my window, I have like we have a really cool like backyard here, and behind the backyard is like a really big field where guys just build plants, etc. And they harvest, I guess it's like food for animals, like only grass, etc. And they crush it sometimes down. And there's a little door. I go then with my 15 kilo vest, like walk 1.7 kilometers to the woods, and then just come back, which are 3.5 kilometers or so, only walking, not running, like only walking, but on a fasted system. Like I need to eat 18 hours, nothing. And then I go to the 3.5 kilometer walk with the 15 kilo vest on. Why? Because after 18 hours of your fasting period, you immediately start burning your fat on your body, and not the fat what you get from the food. So you basically start burning your fat, what gets stored in the liver. And if that's actually gone, you're really like going directly into your whatever fat resorts or whatever that is in your body. And that's why I do it. So it's a 3.5 kilometer walk. And afterwards I do 30 minutes, like also body weight stuff, burpees, anything.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's
That's great timing. And then how long are you then between eating and going to sleep? Because I've been trying to calibrate that myself. So I'm curious what works there for you.
So it's minimum 3 hours. Best case scenario would be 4, but sometimes I just cannot keep it at 4 because I go to sleep at around 10:30 and wake up around 6:30. So basically what I felt with my body, because everybody is different, I need, when I train 6 times per week, I need like 7.5 and 8 hours of sleep. I just need it. Not that I'm 32 or getting 32 or I do a lot of sports or did a lot of sports. I did many times only like on 5 or 6. And then I need in the morning like 1 hour to get really like right into work stuff. And if I have like 7.5 hours, I sleep 1 hour longer and can get instantly to whatever work I want to do.
Yeah, so that's way more efficient. That's way better for the body, I would say,
100%,
too.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's interesting. I too am falling into the kind of like 10 p.m. lights out, and then like maybe 6:30 or 7 get up and start going, because I love sleeping, actually. I know a lot of people are like, sleep is for the weak. I'm like, good luck with that. I really enjoy sleeping. I feel great when I sleep. So I just want to get that. Okay. I feel like we've gone down the health rabbit hole a lot. I want to kind of jump into Web3, because what you guys are doing in the biz is really cool, and all about interoperability. But maybe kind of give us the backstory of like how you got into crypto, and then sprinkle in some Neo Tokyo love there, of course. And then what's going on with the project you're helping to build.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, really funny story. So officially, I'd say my Web3 jumpstart was in 2017. Back in the day, I was a marketing lead at a Web2 company where we actually sold education material for audio engineers here in Germany. So we were the biggest audio engineering school in Germany. And me and a buddy of mine ran the marketing department there. He went then another route and built a gin brand. And I went another route and went into Web3 full time as a marketing guy. So yeah, that was that. And basically the beginning of all of it was actually that I hashed Ethereum back in the days on a website from my PC in 2016. And you basically can go on there and book a hash rate with your credit card payment, and then the Ethereum got hashed through the miner you actually ordered for yourself. And pretty cool times back in the days. No, I'm not a millionaire right now off of Ethereum. I have to be honest with that too. I had like 400 or 500 Ethereum at some point, but I sold it at like, I don't know, 70, 80 bucks or so, because back in the day I was 24. I was a student, or 25. Yeah, 24, 25. I was a student, and I just somehow needed the money there because I also wanted to have a car, etc. So yeah, I had around, I would say, like 300 to 400 Ethereum by that time, and sold it at like 80 bucks. But
what was your entry price there?
The entry price was literally the credit card payment to get the miner. That was, I guess it was $11.99 per month or so.
Wow. And how many months? So like, okay, so you were paying almost pennies for the ETH, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Wow, what a great trade.
It was even, you cannot imagine how these websites looked back in the day. There was like only numbers on the side, and on the right on the top was, a friend of mine showed me to this. He was really deep into IT stuff. He also was one of the first guys who created a hardware wallet out of a hard disk or out of a USB drive, etc. He did it like in 2014, 2013. Then he went into another route because he worked for a big dating web app company here in Germany. And then, we got together, and he's like, hey, Tim, you should try that website. It's hashing you Ethereum for $11.99 per month. And I'm like, when I click on something here, my wallet gets drained 100%. And no, he's like, yeah, I tried it. I tried it with my PC, and everything works fine. And that was actually the story how I came into Web3. Wow,
that's incredible. So okay, so let's from there then keep tracking the journey, and let's take the narrative all the way to style.
Yeah, for sure. I also have to be quite honest. I took the ICO dilemma in 2017. And then I had like these, I would say, on and off relationship with crypto since 2017. I didn't work in the industry, but I was always daily like checking prices if there's anything development-wise happening new, etc. Because we need to heavily focus on the marketing stuff at a Web2 company I work. So there was also an on and off relationship, but I just started in 2017 while I was hashing Ethereum. I mean, it was like that. So I went I went full time in 2021 Web3 because we had some different differentiations at the company where we want to head it with marketing, and that's why we split it up. Not the big of a deal. Then I was at the very, very tough times when we need to solve the puzzles for Neo Tokyo on what was the beginning, actually August 2021 or so, I guess, were the first riddles around that from the post from Becker. Did the whole thing with actually a group of 12. So we weren't in any Discord. We had our own Discord. We solved the puzzles all together. Becker went down crazy rabbit holes. We went the rabbit holes down with him too, like analyzing Rick and Morty, analyzing the Doom story. You know, everything that was like all over the place. So we were, our Discord was actually one of the first Discords who instantly knew all the addresses where you need to go to the speakeasies to put in your wallet address. How do we did that actually? It was actually a mistake from Becker, I guess, because we had a really, really good developer in our team, and he checked where the ClickFunneling came from. And in the background of the ClickFunneling, every different URL which came up the next time was actually listed. We screenshotted it and then we put it into our drive. And then we just kept that for ourselves. So we actually had, from the 12 people we were, one was a guy who found the actual neotokyo.code site really crazy in the beginning. And I'm a, what was I back in the day? Group 3 minter or something. We went down the whole rabbit hole. So I minted back in the day, free mint, exciting times. Thousands and thousands of people tried to mint. I actually also minted an elite citizen, but then I got like really bad on the, what was the game we needed to play? The motorcycle game, I guess, was that? What actually got rewind for the 1-year anniversary. What was that game called again? It's not Conclimb, because we also need to do Conclimb. Like this race thing where you need to grab the small coins, etc. I was really bad on that. And yeah, that was basically then the story on minting everything on day one, putting all the parts together. Yeah, joined Neo Tokyo, found really amazing people in there. I was actually, or how can I explain that? I actually talked to Xan and Ready Player 8 from Steady Stack back in the days when I didn't knew that like Xan is like really heavy into trading. He then brought me a bit into trading. Yeah, met amazing people in there, and from that point on, I was just, when I saw these selling prices of elite citizen back in the days with like 90 Ethereum and the Ethereum price at like 3.6K, I was like, should I grab the 300K or should I just stay in here and network? And that question came up for 1 second, because I hold it for now. I definitely will hold it forever, because I met amazing people like you. I met amazing people like Boaks, and we have talks with Becker. You cannot really imagine what you get in value out of that, but I definitely get more value rather than having 300K, 100%. And yeah, that's why I stayed, and I definitely will stay forever. I even have my citizen here printed out as a picture. And then Becker always told, or was ranting about, yeah, Web3 gaming will definitely happen. We don't know when. The Metaverse was a crazy buzzword in 2021 and 2022. And yeah, then I was like, just honestly, in that time in the bull run, I was just trading crypto, etc. So in that time, I didn't really have like a job. And that time I was just like a trader and did like trading crypto, etc. Running on altcoins. And then I found actually Leo, like the CEO from Style Protocol, where I'm at now. And he came up with the idea in the first place by creating fashion for the metaverse space. So that was like the ground idea of everything. So we basically got connections with Bogner, which is a pretty luxury brand in Germany where they're making winter jackets, which are pretty expensive. And we also had some connections with other big brands in Germany. Adidas is also in Germany, but we never got connected to them because they were too big. And they also wanted to go into the Web3 route by themselves. And we were then sitting in Berlin at our office one day, and then I'm like, right now we're actually only doing this for fashion and recreating like sweaters for models. We were creating trousers, we were creating glasses, anything, watches, anything what you can wear. And then I'm in Neo Tokyo, and they all talk about Web3 gaming, and I'm like, how do actually games get their models? And then I asked Leo, do you know how computer games, like let's say World of Warcraft or Far Cry or all these big names, Fortnite, etc., Call of Duty, how do they get their models? And then we basically came down to, I guess, the thought process, there need to be 3D designers for that. Additionally, maybe also the different softwares for it. So we researched and everything for a week. Yeah, and then in the first place, there was Style Exchange. So Style Exchange was basically the first fashion, like let's say company what we had. And Style Exchange is now a bit in the background, but we basically have now a bit connections with the brands going on. And because we right now, basically the brands see, oh, dude, these dudes can make like interoperable avatars for games. And maybe really soon, Epic Games will also open up with the Unreal Engine some different places where we can showcase stuff from us. This is like where we then come again in hand. And yeah, we then in the beginning of 2022, we thought, okay, Style Exchange, yeah, I don't know if that is that long-term sustainable. We don't know, but definitely asset creation in 3D for the gaming world or in general for virtual worlds, that could be it. And basically, yeah, we started on March 1st, 2022 with Style Protocol. We set it up everything in Switzerland, basically exactly the same like Ethereum. So we have the foundation in Switzerland because they have great crypto regulations. And yeah, we build it up from there. Right now we have 30 virtual environments and 6 games we're working with. Everything is built completely to the finish. We have an Unreal Engine SDK where any Unreal Engine game can connect to us. We have a Unity SDK where even next January can connect Apple to us. We don't know, but because they're basically telling on their website they're working with Unity, because we also have a SDK for Unity and also Node.js, so basically a SDK for the browser games. So, and we have 126 active 3D designers. So yeah, we started with like 2 3D designers. One is our 3D lead, who's actually with us since the beginning. He's a genius. He's like I never saw a person like working that fast on a computer. It's insane. It's like the League of Legends players where they're like running all over. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, man. And he's like so fast in Blender with all these models and checking if the textures are right, checking if the poly counts are right, etc. It's crazy. And yeah, he's actually also doing educational videos for 3D designers now on YouTube, where you can actually teach how we do that for the metaverse. So anyone later on who's listening to this, you can also learn 3D design on the side if you want to, not especially for anything, but for the Web3 gaming space, which could be like $1 billion industry in the not multi-billion dollar industry in like the next 10 years. We don't know, but in our opinion, it's like inevitable. So
absolutely.
Yeah, that's
well,
where I'm at right now.
I think we both share, obviously I am also a neo-techio. So, we're both a little biased there, but yeah, it's clearly inevitable. And what I think y'all are tackling is one of the most important parts, because from my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong and help me explain this better, but you guys are basically building I don't know if middleware is the right thing, but the technology that will allow one NFT to be interoperable with all the different game environments. And so, for example, I can take my citizen and I can put that citizen into all the other games. So one NFT, multiple different worlds. Because, and here's something where I disagree with a lot of people. I actually think that, and I think it's clear that the metaverse is just the internet. Okay. It's just the internet. Yes. We're now interacting with it through screens and glasses and watches and stuff like that. Eventually, it will become more immersive. And AR, VR, that's just the next iteration of how we interact with the internet / the metaverse. But it's already here. Like, people are spending a gargantuan amount of time on the internet already. It's basically the metaverse. It's just life and, digital life. Look at your screen time on your iPhone if you don't believe me, and you'll see everybody else is just like that. I mean, we're all super addicted to this stuff. We're on it all the time, right? So that is not going to change. The games are one of the easiest ways for people to interact with this world and to exist in the world, because it captures our attention. It's definitely an abuse of the dopamine in our brains. I say that as being a gamer since I was 6 years old and playing a shit ton of video games my whole entire life. I get it. It's just, it's just how it is, right? But that's very interesting, the part of being able to use one NFT in all of the games, because it doesn't have to, like, the games don't have to be interoperable with each other. they can all have one centralized connection point, which is the NFT, the underlying assets.
Yes.
That is fascinating to me.
Yeah, same. Yeah, 100%. And I'm 100% agreeing to that opinion from you. We're in the metaverse since 2000. What is it? Even earlier. When was the internet coming along? Oh my God.
Commercially, it became viable about 1994.
Yeah,
ish.
exactly. The mail.
Yeah, so around there.
But yeah, like interacting immersive with a virtual cam, I would say in the 2000s or so, beginning of 2000s maybe, where we actually then came up with like video meetings maybe, or such type of things. But yeah, I completely agree on that. We can even say that we're right now in a metaverse, because you're basically in the US, I'm in Germany. We are talking with a latency of like maybe 80 to 100 milliseconds. I mean, what the hell? So yeah, I'm completely going down the route there with you. And also regarding the interoperability in the Web3 space. I mean, it like we do. Again, you said it before perfectly. We're somehow biased to Neo Tokyo. We have these avatars with us, which are on the one side an avatar, and on the other side a membership to a club where people talk about daily on gaming. Not only gaming, we have also the basement shitcoin trades going on there, but yeah, we're basically mainly talking about like the Web3 gaming and the metaverse, or yeah, the virtual environments, I would say. And that's actually a term what I prefer to use over metaverse right now. We all know that metaverse was somehow the greatest buzzword of the last 2 years. I like way more, and we also go down the rabbit hole way more, naming it virtual environments, because it's also a game is a virtual environment where you interact with players and have a shooter game, or maybe you just play the most famous like phone game like Clash of Clans with the builder base, etc., where you build out your base. And yeah, all this, in my opinion, the next 10 years are super exciting. We are, I would say, 100% on the forefront with all of this, because what would, or how can I phrase this the right way? If you ask me, every blue chip NFT who has or is attached to a holder who wants to represent himself also with the NFT he has, imagine this amount of customers, and imagine all these people like playing in a game and actually representing their IP. Imagine like playing Call of Duty against Apache Penguin, or against the talk of the town Azuki right now. Or yeah, it's inevitable, if you ask me, because people want to represent themselves in a virtual environment. How did they can do it right now without any restriction? NFT and a virtual environment, which maybe also has the ground layer of blockchain.
Exactly.
That's it.
And I'm not sure if, like you're saying, like, I'm not sure if that underlying layer is also going to be based on blockchain.
Yep.
Probably, possibly, but I don't know. But for sure, a lot of the assets within those worlds are definitely going to be based on NFTs. And
yes,
like, I think that stuff's going to go into the hood. People aren't even really going to care what it's called. Like, maybe some of the OGs are going to be like, it's an NFT, we told you so, blah, blah, blah. You know, who cares? As long as the technology gets used and we can be our freaking PFPs in the game, I want to be my laser eye citizen in the game. That's what I care about. Like, that's the important thing at the end of the day, because that is fucking cool. And it'll be even more cool when, you know, a lot of the other implications of when we get to that point, the other things that are, you know, digital property rights, being able to move your stuff between games, blah, 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 all that stuff. That's coming. That's cool too. But just the base of like, instead of having to go to Discord or somewhere else to like, or even, you know, a piece of technology like Zoom to do this, instead we could hop into Angie's and have a chat with a bunch of other citizens around and, you know, like kick it in the Citadel. Like, that to me is the end goal of where that's gonna go. And that is so cool. And it's so freaking cool.
Yeah, it is. I 100% agree on that. That's also what I will 100% like. I if NGs is somewhat represented in a virtual environment, maybe not like, I don't really want to say something about core games, but it's, how can I explain it in that in a very okay way? The thing is, I can actually go that route. We actually have a competitor which is called Ready Player Me. These guys going the vice versa route what we do. To explain this really fast in a really small nutshell is Ready Player Me creates a avatar standard where the game actually adopts. But the thing is, when you're actually adopting a avatar standard, then you need to completely code the game from the ground new, because when you have a shooter game, if you get a model from Ready Player Me and one from us, we work with the base model from the game itself. So you don't need to code anything. You get us the base model, we create the avatar throughout the base model what you give us. Even the Pudgy Penguin later on, we can do the Pudgy Penguin regarding the base model what we get from the game. But Ready Player Me says, hey guys, we have this avatar standard. If you implement the avatar standard in your game, we instantly can get you 1,000 avatars. The thing is, what I see in my opinion, that's not how it works, because a game should create their own base model. Imagine looking at Counter-Strike, Halo, and World of Warcraft. Every one of them, exactly, yeah. Everyone has the same feet, the same arms, the same fingers, but they have different movements, different proportions of height to body size, etc. And Ready Player Me wants to say, hey, we got this. If you want to have 1,000 avatars, you need to use that. And
what if that's not the best technology?
Exactly. And we come to games and say, hey guys, do you have a base model? If yes, way easier for us. We can also create you a new one, or maybe we can like optimize yours. Maybe our 3D designers or our Unreal Engine experts found some stuff what we can make better for your game. Because basically that is what most of the people forget about it. The hard part of actually bringing an avatar into a world is not the creation of the avatar, it's the optimization for the gaming engine. That's the toughest part of everything, because the Unreal Engine and the game itself, so the underlying gaming engine, has a max count of polys. Polys are like triangles, like this on a character, where you actually build the whole character around. Let's say the hyper-realistic ones have like 30 to 40,000 poly counts. And when you go to Sandbox, I don't know, man, they have like 1,000 or so. That's a graphic difference. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, that's the toughest part, because the 3D designers most of the time make the whole model that it's like smooth and that everything looks like super smooth. But when you count then the polys, you got 150K polys. And basically what it comes then down to is the rendering power of your graphic card, because the graphic card from you needs to render 150,000 triangles from every character in the game. So that's why actually the games are optimizing their models to like looking like 4K or 8K, but having like the smallest amount of poly counts to the model itself. And that's the hardest part, actually.
Easier to load, still visually appealing.
Exactly, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'd love to dive more into the nitty gritty of it, the nuts and bolts. But unfortunately, we're running out of time here, my friend. So maybe we could do like a quick, like give us like a snapshot of like, how does the tech actually work? How are you able to take a base model and then put it and make it interoperable with all the different types of game engines? How does that actually work?
Yeah, for sure. Right now, it's actually, since the live protocol from us, I'd say takes around like another 2 to 3 months, because our Solidity developers like sitting on all the smart contracts that we get the live protocol running. because the live protocol itself will be a separate platform. You will go to protocol.style for our website stuff, but if you actually then want to bridge an NFT, you then go to the NFT bridge itself. And this NFT bridge gets right now completely developed. It's a completely standalone platform where every 3D designer from us gets then a profile and everyone gets a link to it. Anything will work really seamlessly where I could show you snapshots maybe sometimes after the chat, but it's getting really great. We have like a great marketplace where 3D designers can pick their models from. 3D designers then need to actually run through a small application thing if they're capable of doing Unreal Engine stuff, or if they're only capable of doing stuff for Decentraland or Sandbox, etc. If not, here's the link to the education stuff from our 3D designer. You can learn it, etc. So we have basically all the platform then for the interoperability for the whole worlds, which is standalone. Right now, you just go to our MVP. It's literally in the MVP stage for over a year. And the live protocol is basically like in development since September last year, around that, August, September. So nearly 9 to 10 months or so. So we're nearly coming to an end. I 100% cannot say a live date yet because we're in the testing mode with everything. Yeah, but the tech basically works in that way that we built a whole software development kit for the ground gaming engine where the game is run on. So we have a kit where we go to a game. Imagine we go to an Unreal Engine 5.2 game, and it's a shooter game. We approach them, say, hey guys, we're doing interoperability for the Web3 space. If you actually integrate our SDK to your game, we instantly can bring you, I need to actually update the numbers, but I guess it's around 400 models what we did right now, like the past year and 2 months. We can bring you 400 models from, let's say, 350 different holders. So you instantly can get 350 possible players for the game. That's the first incentive for games. And obviously the cool thing is about all these decentralized worlds, and what we also want to emerge is when the protocol is live, every project, even Neo Tokyo, I'm actually chatting about that with Firestorm, that we guys, or we in Neo Tokyo, can pay bytes for the 3D model. All these other projects, we all know that they have tokens. We literally can accept every ERC20 token when it has liquidity on Uniswap or any other DEX, that we can transform it into USDC. So you basically then pay us your ERC20 token. What you have, that's the coolest interoperable thing, what I think. Imagine like the cyberkongs even can come to us and say, hey guys, we pay in the banana token. They have the banana token, which they're also yielding like we do. Every other NFT collection will right now, and that's why the smart contracts will take so long. Also the bytes 2 smart contracts are in development for such a long time. Also, every other NFT collection in the future who's yielding an ERC token can connect to our protocol. That's like the most important thing. It's not only for built for right now, it's also a bit like 10 years out. Even like a ERC777A token or ERC77B token or whatever in the future can connect to us, because we basically somehow also use, I don't really know the solidity stuff in the background, but somehow then we use Uniswap, it gets converted, etc. So it's just working. Honestly, I'm like the marketing guy there. It's just working. So yeah,
that.
Exactly. Yeah, we're that, and that's the cool thing. I know that we're running out of time, and I try to speak a bit faster. But the cool thing is, since the space of the Web3 games is so early, we're basically in one-on-one chats with the actual game developer and building a minting standard for these models. So we're basically, on the one hand, using IPFS, because we basically need to save the model somewhere and also get it into these different worlds. So we need to save it on IPFS. That's why also Filecoin is an investor from us, actually, and we're using their IPFS systems. They're amazing. And yeah, really in a nutshell, you have an NFT, you come to us and say, hey, Style Protocol, I want to have my model in whatever, spatial or Monaverse, like to name 2. Both of them are a bit like higher in graphics. They're based on Unity. That's why they both are actually advertise themselves that they are functional with the Apple Vision Pro since day one. And you come to us, you actually choose the worlds by yourself where you actually want to have the model in. And right now it is in a stage. That's why we have 126 3D designers. A 3D designer creates the model by hand for you. And we also have at our company like an intern who's literally doing daily research if there is any AI out there who can create 3D models. So I can tell you this 100%. There's no AI right now in the whole AI space who can create that's the really core thing what we talked about before. It's not only creating the 3D model, it's the optimization, like the optimized model for the world. That's it. If an AI is there in the next 2 to 5 years who can create optimized models with the numbers the game needs, that the model is running smooth in the world, that's where we like scale everything up. But right now we have to do it by hand. And basically it's working like this. Imagine you have the NFT like we do on Ethereum, and the game you want to play is on Avalanche, let's say. We take the NFT, make the 3D model, put it onto IPFS so that it's accessible for the Avalanche blockchain. So Filecoin's IPFS system is basically EVM compatible, and Avalanche is also EVM compatible. And that's why we can literally like download the data from the IPFS from Filecoin onto any EVM chain we're working with. Right now, also, we are integrating that for Solana. We're integrating that for other layer ones who are not EVM compatible, and that's a bit tricky. But yeah, we just have to do it. Like it's interoperability. It needs to work anywhere seamlessly.
I love that.
That's it.
And I also can't wait for when AI comes and powers up what y'all are doing, because that's going to be very, very exciting. But dude, Tim, I appreciate the time, my friend. Talked about health, talked about crypto, talked about interoperability. We really covered the gambit today. So I appreciate your time, my friend. And once everything goes live and things start ramping up even more, would love to bring you back on and maybe do some sort of screen share and check out some of the tech and dive a little bit more deeply. But until then, 100%. My friend, just want to say thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me again. Yeah. And yeah, great. Again, your connection through Neo Tokyo. I wouldn't have even to get to know you when we're not in the same collection. So yeah, great connections there. Yeah, thank you again. It was great chatting to you.
Likewise, buddy. And for everybody watching and listening, I want to thank you, because you're the reason why we do this, and you're the absolute best. So I will talk to you all later. And for those citizens of Neo Tokyo, I'll see you inside the Citadel. Take care, guys.